Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be showing you some premium utility blade holders. So the first one here, this is from Titanium. This is their safety portable multi-knife. And then this is the Oknife. This is their U1 Ultra, the latest in their U1 basically generation of knives. So kind of comparing these two to each other, I'm curious to hear your thoughts at the end of the video. Maybe which one you think fits you best, which one you like, maybe the design, the performance. Curious to hear all of that down in the comments. And these are actually both on sale. Again, I'll tell you more about that towards the end of the video. Let's go. We'll start with the Oknife, the U1 Ultra. So it does come in two scale options or handle options here. This one is titanium, which is my personal favorite. I like the titanium. I like the feel of titanium. Then they also have the aluminum version, which cool thing with the aluminum is it comes in a couple different color options. They also have a dark gray. You see like a dark green. This is something between maybe a tan and a light green, something like that. And of course, aluminum is going to be just a bit cheaper. But again, I'll tell you about the prices here towards the end. All right, so really cool things about this. First of all, you can see it is meant to be a pocket. It has a pocket clip, so it's meant to be carried in your pocket. It does have a nice deep carry on that. And so it's easy to carry this in your pocket. And then what makes this a very premium tool is you see it has a ceramic utility blade. And so that has a lot of advantages over the typical utility blade. So for example, like this Craftsman, this is what you typically see as a utility blade holder. And then that's what the blade, of course, that one's been abused and looks pretty rough. But anyways, the ceramic is supposed to be, they say 10 times sharper, which I don't know how you'd even test to see if it's 10 times sharper, but it does feel significantly sharper than a typical utility blade. And the other cool thing about it is that it also doesn't rust. As you saw here with this well-used blade, that's already rusty, whereas this is not going to rust. It has a good edge retention. One thing you can't do, or very difficult to do, is you can't sharpen the ceramic blades, which who sharpens a utility blade, right? They're basically meant to be disposable. That's one of the cool things I like about a utility blade or this entire concept is it's a blade you can actually abuse. And then once, you know, it's abused, like you saw that one over there, dull, you just replace it. And you can buy these ceramic replacements. Right now they cost like $16 for a 10-pack of these ceramic ones. But of course, this also holds any typical utility blade. And so if you don't like the ceramic, but you like the rest of it, you can of course just buy an ordinary utility blade, which are super cheap, and it holds that as well. Another cool thing about this while I have it open is you actually have access to about 85% of that edge, which is actually pretty rare when it comes to utility blades. As you can see, this one, you might have, I don't know, maybe 50%, if that much, of the utility blade is accessible. And then what you do is once that gets dull, you just flip it over and you have, you know, a new sharp edge again, right? Same thing, once we get into this, you're gonna see it also has like maybe a quarter and then one more setting up there, you have maybe about 50% accessible. Then again, you flip it. And so it's very unique, and I think I actually like having access to so much of the utility blade. You are still gonna have a sharp tip, and so if the tip gets dull like it usually does first, you can just reverse this around and give a sharp tip. But again, you have access to so much of the blade there. All right, so to replace the blade, you have a little screw here that you need to loosen right there. And I find it difficult to loosen it with my fingers, which they apparently thought of, because it comes with this small little multi-tool in the box. And of course, it's got a little bottle opener, a little flathead, maybe a pry tool. But we're actually interested in this section right here. Basically, just put that on there, your little twist. You loosen it up until the blade is kind of loose here. And then that just slides right out. And then again, like I said, it can take basically any utility blade. It doesn't have to be ceramic. And then installing it is the exact same way. Slide it in there, make sure it gets all the way into place. And I still find it difficult. You can get it going with your fingers, but you can't get enough really leverage on it. I guess maybe that, but it still has a bit of play. So yeah, it really needs to be tightened down just a bit there with that extra tool. So the next thing that's really cool about this is actually how easy it is to access it. So you have multiple options. First, you have the back flipper, and so you can access this easily with one hand. And then it has a lock, which is right there. You push that button with your thumb, and then that just closes back down. It does have thumb studs, ambidextrous, so on both sides there. And so if you like to do like the Spidey flick, you can do that. If like using your thumb to open it, which that wasn't impressive, but anyways, you can do that. Of course, you don't have to flick it open. You can slowly open it as well. And then the next way to open it is simply by releasing the lock. It can actually just slide open by itself. just like that. And so really cool. It does add some fidgetability to it, if that's even a word. I've always find it enjoyable to, to mess with the knife, flip it open with finding different ways of opening. I like the Spidey flip. Anyways, I like that it's accessible in that way, like that. And so really cool knife altogether. Again, I like both the setup. I like the design. It's great pricing, I think, especially right now while you have like the Prime Day sales. And so you have like 20% off, which means the titanium one is right now $52. The aluminum ones are $44. And again, like I said, the replacements, they're right now $16 for a 10 pack. And that's also, it has a sale right now while during basic Prime Day. All right, so that was the Oknife, the U1. Now I want to show you the Titainer. Now Titainer is a company that does all kinds of titanium EDC tools. Lots of stuff is, I would call novelty, very unique. And so this one does not, it stays to the same kind of concept where it's a very unique utility blade holder. You can see it's actually kind of a multi-tool. You have a little bottle opener right here, which is kind of sharp. Then you have a pry tool, which I guess could also be like a large flathead. But I think it's meant to be like a pry tool for, prying some things open. And you can use it for like busting tape. So if you like open a box and you don't want to open the blade for whatever reason, like you don't want to cut the contents, this is just sharp enough to where it'll bust tape and you can open up a package with that. Now then you also have some spaces here. If you wanted to attach a lanyard, you can do that. It's pretty simple to do. The overall design, of course, is all titanium with some copper accents. Right there you can see it says Titainer on that copper accent right there. Everything else is completely made of titanium. The button here is going to be ceramic, and so a pretty nice button. You can also see that they have some slots here for adding tritium vials. And so if you wanted to take this already novelty tool to the next level, you can also buy tritium vials, which they actually have right on their website, which is convenient because it's so difficult nowadays to find tritium vials. And so if you were to order this, you can just, as an add-on, you can add for an extra $19. You can get those tritium vials, and they have a bunch of colors as well. All right, anyways, let's get to the actual opening, because the main advantage of this particular blade over these ones is this is meant to have like child safety, or just overall safety. This blade will not come out. There's no accessible sharp points on this until you open it up. And it has a very complex way of opening it. In fact, it's so complex when I even hand this to adults, typically, they're not going to be able to open it until I explain how to open it. Some people who are a bit more maybe EDC aware, or they've messed with tools more often, they can figure it out. But it's absolutely not like intuitive. So this button, you press it down, you want to apply pressure with the blade, then you push the button, let go of the button, and then you continue to slide. Now, if you continue holding down that button, let's say you just hold it down, you push, it's not going to come out. So that's the thing, a child can grab the button and push on it, and try to get it open, but it doesn't open. You have to keep pressure, push the button once, let go, and then it opens up to that first little notch. You can press it, you can apply pressure again, push the button again, it opens up to the next notch. Now that is fully open. The next will actually remove the blade. So you apply pressure, push that, and you can pull the blade out. So it is not a one-hand accessible tool, which I think that's a bit of a disadvantage. Typically, in scenarios where I'm going to need a utility blade, I'd like to be able to do it with one hand, be able to just grab it and go. But again, that's where this comes in as a more novelty item, where this would be good in your pocket, right? Just like a loose item or whatever. You don't have to worry about it coming open accidentally. This here on the back, if that in your pocket gets pushed, there you go. You got a super sharp blade in your front pocket. Okay, you guys can connect the dots, right? And so with this here, the main selling point of this is its novelty. And it's extra safety. You don't have to worry about your children accidentally opening this, unless of course you teach them how to open it. And you don't have to worry about it accidentally coming open in your pocket. But it's also like a thing where, let's say you're out with the guys and you show them this tool. It's going to bring up a lot of conversation, right? And so again, that's what Titainer I find to be very unique about, is just the novelty of their tools. So the blade here, it's not an actual Damascus steel. It's a high carbon steel, but then they've done a Damascus pattern on it. They do have, of course, replacements, and they cost like $29 for a 10 pack. And you can choose some different patterns. This is the Damascus. They have kind of like a topographic pattern, or you can get like an ECG, like an echocardiogram, so it looks like heartbeat, like on an ECG. So anyways, they have some different options there, maybe depending on whatever your maybe profession is or things like that. And so a very, like I said, a very unique tool, novelty method of opening it. Other than that, I mean, just a really interesting multi-tool altogether. So this costs $89. Again, it's on sale right now. Otherwise, I think it's like 110 usually, or there it's over 100. And so right now it's on sale for 89. So let me know what you think about these two, about the two options. Do you like maybe the U1, the Ultra, the accessibility of it, that ceramic blade, having access to 85% of the utility blade there, or if you like something a bit more novelty, something that nobody's probably seen, and that just sparks some good conversation. Super safe setup. Let me know down in the comments which one you like better, which one maybe you think is the better price range for you. And if you are interested, I do have links to both of these in the description of the video, so pick those up right now if you're interested while they are on sale. And thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.